I'm Charles Coves, Australasia's passion provocateur. Welcome to this week's episode of the Charles Coves Show, whether you are watching on YouTube or whether you're listening to the podcast. In this week's episode, I explore ways that you might consider on what actions you're going to take. What ideas you're going to embrace. What are you going to do? What distractions are you going to avoid? These strategies have been used by me for years and they work. The role of passion in energizing your choices and then energizing your execution of those choices is profound. I also share some insights from the movie Exodus, the story of Moses, and insights from conversations I had with two psychologists recently on a new radio program where I am a co-host on TNT Radio. Stick around, these ideas could be just what you need to hear today. This weekly show is founded on the formula SA plus P equals S. Self-awareness plus passion equals success. I say that your self-awareness combined with your passion will guarantee that you are successful. The best definition for success that I have found is this: success is the progressive realization of your worthy ideals. This show is also guided by Socrates' famous principle and quote, "The unexamined life is not worth living." For more details about my background for new viewers and listeners, please listen at the end of the show. Now, you can see I'm wearing my red jacket. I love red. Red is the colour of passion, and I wear it so that when you see red in your day-to-day experiences, it reminds you to decide, are you following your passion? If not, am I trying to work out what my passion truly is? In this show, each week I explore one big idea that can change your life. And it's just one big idea because if I bombard you with too many ideas, you won't choose any. It's like going to the supermarket and having a whole wall of yogurt and not buying any because you just can't decide. One big idea that can change your life. This week's idea could be it. Each week I also share with you simple and practical resources to reinforce this one big idea, and these are resources that I've used in my life and that clients with whom I have worked, either individually or in a group, have found them to be useful. The lyrics of a song, a spiritual tip, a health tip, a book, a quote, and some humour. After all, life was not meant to be taken too seriously. The only end point for all of us is death, so we're all going to die, so hello, stressing about it too much isn't going to be of value to you. This show is not politically correct. I have no desire to be politically correct. I speak with as much truth and honesty as I am able. And I love certain addictions, including my addiction to this wonderful stuff called caffeine. I'm also addicted to exercise and reading, and perhaps some other addictions that I shouldn't talk about in polite company. I assume this is polite company. This show definitely subscribes to the view that we have a spiritual life. The human spirit is an indomitable force, is a powerful force, and when human beings access their spirit and unite with others, it is amazing. I promise you I don't include anything in this show that I don't think works, that I am not willing to do myself. So the ideas here come with the benefit of application and practice, so you can have confidence that they do work. So, what's happened in the past week in my life and in the world in general? Well, here we are in Melbourne, the home of the Australian Tennis Open that is due to start tomorrow, where Novak Djokovic had his visa cancelled, then got it back again. And the Minister for Immigration has now cancelled it again. And as I'm recording this show, there are 3 judges reviewing the Minister's decision. And it is shameful what is happening to Novak Djokovic. I put it out there right now. It is shameful. Our federal government are acting corruptly, improperly, unlawfully, and it is literally shameful. I am aware of the issues. I happen to know Novak. I've met him on a couple of occasions here in Melbourne through mutual friends, and he's number 1 in the world because he has the courage of his commitments and his convictions. And the nonsense that is published in the mainstream media about the risk of Novak is absolute bullshit. The mainstream media is also a disgrace. During the week, a lot of research continues to come out from UK government sources, from various governments around the world, showing the nonsensical thinking behind jabs, booster jabs, more booster jabs for a virus that has, well, as far as children are concerned, zero chance. Statistically, zero chance. And anyone who's jabbing children, in my view, is acting highly improperly, if not criminally. And certainly I'm putting school principals on notice that they are taking grave risks of criminality in imposing jabs on school children. I also see that the World Health Organization is trying to develop implied consent for those under 18, and then trying to influence 5 and 6-year-olds to give consent without their parents knowing. It's like those sex classes that happen in schools and parents are not allowed to know about it. Can you see what's happening to children from governments? I say the government narrative around these jabs is absolutely crumbled. Not crumbling, but has crumbled. And I have spent a lot of time over the last 2 years in studying this, and I can report to you that over the course of the last week, and this happens every week, I'm in 5 global groups dealing with some of the top experts in the world. I am well informed, and I bring to your attention that governments in Australia and around the world refuse to have proper debates with world-class experts around the narrative. That should tell you something. In yesterday's Australian Financial Review, there's a big report that big business is optimistic about the economy. Of course it is, because small to medium businesses are being destroyed. So who's the beneficiary of small businesses that disappear? Big business. No wonder they're optimistic. And with the conversations I've had with psychologists, the level of suicides, of depression, of family violence are going through the roof. Ah, yes, but big business is optimistic. Doesn't that give you a nice, warm feeling in your groins? During the week, a group that I'm working with advised that we can now tell the world about a criminal complaint that has been filed and accepted by the Metropolitan Police in UK against chief health officers in the UK and government ministers for crimes in imposing these jabs upon the population, and they're being swamped with evidence about these crimes. I also point out that the number of adverse events being experienced by people in Australia and around the world from these jabs that are being reported on social media are going through the roof. And in Australia, 79,000 people have been reported as lodging claims for damages. This to protect us from something that has a ridiculously tiny risk of death? Are you joking? If any of you know anybody who has lost a baby in utero or who has died, I urge you to go to your local police station and report a crime. Because as a matter of law, that's what I'm telling you that it is. So there's lots happening globally. There are criminal proceedings that deserve to be launched against politicians. I urge people to take this thinking on board. You can read more about it in materials that I publish. I'm happy to send you information. If someone is damaged from these jabs that they had without informed consent, that is an assault. That's crime. And when it leads to a death, that's manslaughter, may well be murder. In the meantime, I'm exercising every day. I told you I'm addicted to it. I've been doing it for over 50 years, and I urge you to do it. In fact, that's my health tip. You need to do the exercise. In the world that we live in, which is a challenging space to be in, exercising your body physically is a crucial benefit, is a crucial asset, is a crucial strategy that enables you to thrive in these challenging times. Now, for today's big idea. And before I do that, I invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, to this podcast. I invite you to sign up to Passion Points to Ponder on our two websites, covest.com, charlescovest.com. And you can discover more about the self-awareness and passion quest at charlescovest.com. You can download a manifesto that will be of great value to you. So today's big idea. I say that you need to do what you see needs to be done. We live in strange and challenging times. What are you going to do about that? How are you going to change your behavior in 2022? What is it that you can see that nobody else can see? Because after all, you are a weirdo, and what you see needs to be done, nobody else can precisely see that. What are you choosing to do? What are you choosing to focus on? What are you choosing to let go? What are you choosing to identify as something about which you are not going to be informed? Because you simply haven't got the time. You can't be informed about everything. But I've said in previous shows that you can choose to be comprehensively informed. So don't be so narrow-minded that you don't understand what's going on, but you have different levels of depth of knowledge. How do you make that choice? Passion, your passion, gives you clues. But there's a danger that you'll choose the comfortable route. You see, it would be very comfortable for me to choose the government narrative. It's very comfortable for people to argue Novak should just take the jab because everyone else take one for the team. That's a very comfortable way to do that. The fact that you're just damaging your body permanently, no, don't worry about that. Just make it comfortable for everybody. Well, I say that's not what living is about. And your passion, what you are passionate about, what you're passionate about, what needs to be done, that's what you are meant to be doing. And recently, Julie and I watched the movie Exodus with Christian Bale playing the role of Moses. Powerful, powerful story about the exodus of the Hebrews, of the Jews, from slavery, from 400 years of slavery in Egypt. Freedom versus slavery. What do you choose? Would you choose to be enslaved and to make it comfortable so that you don't have to take the risk of perhaps dying in the process of fighting for freedom, like freedom fighters through history have actually experienced? Exodus brings home that choice very clearly. It's an amazing movie. Ridley Scott is the director. And if you want to be inspired on this question of whether you're going to be a slave or a free person, free human being, it's worth watching. And then in the conversations I had with two psychologists on my new radio show that launched on the 15th of January, called Mental Health Matters on TNT Radio. The link is tntradio.live. Every fortnight I'm a co-host with Tanya de Jong. And we talk about mental health matters. Well, two psychologists I interviewed yesterday were talking about the importance of understanding what your life is about, of what meaning does your life have, of the purpose of your life. And I've talked about it in previous shows about how powerful this concept of meaning is, because if you have done the work of self-awareness that says this is what my life is about, that then helps you to make better choices consistent with who you are and who you want to become. Do you want to make a contribution to this planet? Or are you just on the comfortable route? And what the psychologists that I spoke to, Nigel and Trail, they said that people who haven't got meaning really struggle in life. They struggle to know how to make decisions. They struggle in their relationships because they don't know what they stand for. They can't make decisions. They don't know what to choose, so they float from this to this to this. They then, because life is so unpleasant, they get on drugs, they get depressed, they get antidepressants. You then get all of the effects of those antidepressant drugs, which are worse than the depression itself. So purpose and meaning and passion is the clue to that purpose and meaning, and then that enables you to choose what you want to do, to choose to actually implement the choices that you have made, and for you to do what you uniquely see needs to be done in this world in which we currently live. Novak Djokovic became number one in the world because he was willing to do hard things. Moses had to do hard things for his people to have freedom, not slavery. Avoiding doing the hard things will make your life incredibly hard. That's a paradox, isn't it? That's a dichotomy, easy versus hard. Take it easy, your life will become hard. Take it easy on the exercise front, your life will become hard. The self-awareness journey that the psychologists also discussed with me yesterday is a crucial element to creating meaning out of this experience of life, and it takes hard work to raise your self-awareness. It's like becoming a golfer. You cannot become a competent golfer without doing hard work. In fact, highly competent. You can sort of hit a golf ball, but if you want to be good at anything, you have to be willing to do the hard work. And the point about passion is that passion makes the hard work easy. That's the clue to this. That's why passion's so important, because then you will do the hard work. And I urge you to make that choice to do the hard work. When the hard work is meaningful, then it's a joy. You wake up in the morning ready for that hard work. You are making meaning for your life. There's purpose to your life. There's purpose for the difficulties. And then it's truly possible to be happy in the midst of all of the crap you need to deal with. So, are you going to do what you see needs to be done? Or are you going to take the easy way and avoid it? Some resources for you. The book. Daniel Goleman, I love reading his books. This book is Focus, the Hidden Driver of Excellence. And on the back it says, are you paying attention? Are you completely focused on this book in your hand? Or have you already distracted yourself? The benefits of paying attention, of being focused, are enormous. Novak Djokovic is focused. I urge you to be focused. This book could be a useful tool for you. In the context of doing what you see needs to be done, the song this week is Rise Up by Andra Day, A-N-D-R-A, Day. Beautiful lyrics. You're broken down and tired, or living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you. So we're going to walk it out and move mountains. That's what Moses did. We're going to walk it out and move mountains, and I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And passion, dear viewers, dear listeners, enables you to overcome those fears. Rise Up, beautiful song. My health tip is to remind you to do hard exercise, that the act of doing hard exercise gets you into the habit of doing hard things. When you're pursuing your passion, you become used to doing hard things. It is the way for you to become who you wish to become. And so that leads to the quote of the day, from one of Julie's favourite Greek philosophers, Epictetus. First, tell yourself what kind of person you want to be. Then do what you have to do. For in nearly every pursuit we see this to be the case. Those in athletic pursuit first choose the sport they want and then do that work. First tell yourself what kind of person you want to be. Do you want to be someone who rises up? Or do you want to be somebody who stays down flat, in terror, in fear? My spiritual tip is to consider the martial arts practices and trainings that through discipline help to build your spiritual practices, because it's practices that give you a framework for your day-to-day decision making. For those who I've spoken to who have done martial arts over many years, the spiritual force that it builds in them is wonderful. Please contemplate that possibility. And if you gave away martial arts because it was too hard, maybe today's message is go back and do those hard things. And my joke, why? Because over the course of the last couple of weeks, I've been hearing stories of lots of elderly people dying. So I thought, time for some humour about elderly people. And by the way, in that UK Metropolitan Police case, there is complaints, criminal complaints filed against the prescription of midazolam and remdesivir, both of which kill the patients to whom they're given. And so there's some amazing information coming out about how murderous that midazolam drug is. However, we're now into humour, and here we have it. An elderly gentleman had serious hearing problems for a number of years, so we went to the doctor, and the doctor was able to have him fitted for a set of hearing aids that allowed the gentleman to hear 100%. The gentleman went back in a month to the doctor, and the doctor said, your hearing's perfect, your family must be really pleased you can hear again. To which the gentleman said, I haven't told my family yet. I just sit around and listen to the conversations. I've changed my will 5 times. I love that idea. You can just imagine that, can't you? There's my granddad. He can't hear a thing, and he's away, and suddenly he's got perfect hearing. Woohoo! Be careful, everybody. And my son's beloved partner, she's an audiologist, you see, so she can solve that hearing problem for you. So, we're getting close to the end. Think about how today's big idea can make a difference to your life. A life that I say is meant to be all that you are capable of making it to be. I want to provoke you and inspire you and excite you about examining your life, of raising your awareness about what your life is about, so that you choose to do what is right for you. And I want you to do that for the rest of your life. I again invite you to visit our websites, covest.com, charlescovest.com. You can access my books, Passionate People Produce and Passionate Performance, from both of those websites. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast, to this YouTube channel, and please, if you see value in this show, please share it amongst your family, your friends, your work colleagues. I've had wonderful feedback. This is episode 93, and the wonderful feedback from people about the value that one idea can have on our lives. And until next week, may your week be full of passion, of challenge, of enjoying the joy of life, of being happy in the midst of your pursuit of what you are passionate about, or the pursuit of identifying what you might be passionate about. And through that process, that you have ever increasing self-awareness. Thanks for being with us. I look forward to being with you next week, and don't forget that there's real benefit in going back to visit earlier episodes of this show, because there are indeed at least 92 big ideas that might just be relevant for you. Have a great week, and stick around for the background information if you're interested, if you're new to this show. Bye. So, here's a little addendum for newer viewers and listeners who don't know about me. Since 1993, when I left my successful legal career after 20 years of legal practice, I have been educating, inspiring, motivating, provoking audiences large and small, one-on-one, in teams, to discover and pursue passion, because passion is the clue, is the key to achieving extraordinary success. Passion is a source of unlimited energy from your soul, your spirit, your heart, that enables you to produce extraordinary results. I've helped people in the books that I've written. I've run team building programs over the course of a year. I've done one-on-one executive coaching. Self-awareness and Passion Quest is all about one-on-one executive coaching. I'm also involved in numerous charities. I'm involved with industrial hemp. I'm CEO of a hemp company. I'm chairman of the Australian Institute of Comedy. I'm on the board of the Australian Cartoon Museum. I'm president of the Australia-Hungary Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board of the Kids Foundation, a charity that for the last 27 years has educated kids how to take sensible risks. I do lots of other stuff. I'm also heavily involved in pushing back against nonsense about C-19 and fighting for freedom. As I said in my Happy New Year message last week, there is a theme to what I do, and it is about freedom. And comedy is about freedom. Passion is about freedom. Health is about freedom. The law is about preserving freedom. Hemp is about freedom. So that's a bit of stuff about me. I have 5 children. I've been successfully married 3 times. Julie, our wonderful producer, director, is my wife, my 3rd and final wife. I am happy in my life. I love doing what I do, and the ideas that I share in this show, I know can work to enable you to enjoy what's happening to you each day, to be happy on a moment-by-moment basis, regardless of the crap that you need to deal with. Thanks for being with us. Look forward to being with you next week. If you have any questions, please send them via email. If you want to be added to our mailing lists, please let us know, charles@covest.com. Thank you. Bye.